Yeah. We're going ice skating today.
Nice.
Yep.
And when Dan put the post for, which people do you hate the most, I was going to put Christina's eyebrows before 8:07.
That would have been classic. Oh, I hate my eyebrows before that time. Are you kidding me?
I don't know if I hate them. I've never seen them. But
And you never shall, Jim. Dan's seen them.
I have. They exist.
Or the lack thereof.
Only once ever, actually.
Yeah. It was a rough day.
It was a rough day.
Coaching call, just raw talking and just like, we're just going.
Right. 8:01. Let's see who I can kick out of here. Look, I got 3 Otterbots in here. Goodbye, Nicole.
Eric, did you get a haircut?
Goodbye, Raluca. Goodbye, Carolina.
Looks good on you.
Thank you.
You're one.
Eric's looking so handsome.
I gotta get on a plane in like business attire and then be in business attire all day.
Are you
Why? What are you doing?
the plaintiff or the defendant?
I don't know at this point.
Where are you going?
LA with Chase and Jenny,
Ooh, are you the new poster boy?
maybe. They give me snacks.
Snacks.
So you must be coming to Tucson to get on an airplane, or all the way up to Phoenix.
Or I just get on my own plane. No,
Oh.
I'm from Tucson.
Mic drop.
I didn't know Sierra Vista had an airport big enough to get to LA.
Yeah, we do. I used to fly to Sierra Vista all the time.
You just stop along the way if you need to.
Yeah. Christina gets it.
Refuel. I'm gonna drop a picture in the thing at my niece's softball game yesterday. I saw it's right by this MTSU flight school, and they had the plane that I first learned to fly.
Cool.
Yes, I'm headed to Tucson.
Nice.
I fell for your Zoom scam too, by the way, Dan.
I saw that.
Bastards. I was all excited. I'm like, oh, got an appointment at 10 o'clock. Put like a button down shirt on. Click the thing, and it's all, you need to install software for Zoom. I'm like, that's a bunch of crap.
They got me a couple of weeks ago.
They tried to get me a couple days ago too.
They're clever. Not clever enough, but they're clever.
Yep. And I think they specifically target people that they know are busy that do these things that they're just like click, just to try to get them.
Or
I've been setting.
hundreds of them at once.
The
I've
lady I
been
was talking to was very thorough. She's like, "Oh yeah, my husband."
Yeah, I got one yesterday, and I just told him, I was like, hey, if you can't do a phone call, then I can't meet with you. I'm sorry.
Well, I figured a Zoom call would be sufficient. Like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
You guys are nicer than me. You're talking to leads the leads in quotes that send you like, join my Zoom meeting. This is how I want to meet you.
Yeah, well, they started off with like, hey, me and my husband, we really like your listing, da-da-da. Would you mind meeting us on a Zoom call? So I was like, yeah, no, we can do a phone call.
I write back, I'm like, absolutely, I'll send you a link. And they're like, no, I prefer mine. And I go, this number has now been reported as phishing and you will be
Right.
blocked.
That's not bad.
Plus other colorful words.
Fabby,
No, I
you
see
tried to
that. I'm
say
like,
something.
here, jump on my
first.
Zoom instead.
Yeah, I was just saying that I've been setting appointments with referral partners, just reaching out to them. And I like to do Zoom so we can like really chat and get to know each other and all that stuff. And one of the girls that I was trying to connect with in Vegas, she called me because she thought I was a scammer. Because I tried to set a Zoom appointment with her, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm real. Sorry if I freaked you out."
So it goes to show that we need to have contacts before Zoom appointments. So
Yeah.
I
hey,
never thought was necessary, but apparently it is.
100%. You have to have a conversation with them first. Well, we haven't talked about wins yet. It's 8:06 into the day.
My win is I ran the virus scanner and there was nothing on there.
That's a win. Change password to your Zoom account.
No.
Maybe do that.
My win is that over the weekend my lender was, not super certain if we were gonna have to cancel my buyer because of just like, some debts that he had, but he was able to figure that out. And I've gotten some pretty good progress on my sip and swap event. So I'm very happy about that.
Very nice. Holly's win that she's gonna strong arm a seller's agent into getting more repairs done. I have a feeling today. She sent a really long email with lots of hard words.
Yeah, that'll be coming later.
Big common sense words. I know it's hard to grasp sometimes.
Yeah. There's just a bunch of dumb shit going on right now. I got a text this morning that a seller doesn't want to close because he has to pay a $4,500 invoice to the septic company. And the agent says it's because he's not happy with the sales price. I was like, he was happy with the sales price when he accepted the offer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to talk about today is the situations of how do you handle potential breaches of contract, then breaches of contract? What are your revenue protection tools? Start with the buyer side, right? What power does the seller have when it comes to a purchase contract?
To sell their house.
Yeah, to sell it, to accept an offer or not. That's it.
They have a liquidated damages protection through the deposit.
Yeah, which is the earnest deposit in the event that the buyer does something outside of your contract provisions. But does the seller have the right to just decide they don't want to sell anymore?
No.
Nope, sorry about you.
No, sorry about your life, man. That's the choice you made. Your decision to sell your house didn't start at the acceptance of our offer. It started when you put that motherfucker on the market. When you hired an agent, got the home ready, got photos done, listed it online, and marketed it for sale. At that point, you can say, you know what? We can't do it. But now you're under contract. What power does the seller have when they're under contract?
To say yes or no to repairs and stuff.
The power of no. The power of no, right? We have all these repairs. Will you fix them?
No.
No. The appraisal came in less than the contract price. Will you adjust your price?
No.
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 Hey, our underwriter needs more time. Will you extend will you extend our closing?
Nope.
No. Like these are all like, that's it. Now the buyer side has all the power. I don't know about the California contracts. I know the Arizona contracts, they have like 10 different ways to cancel a contract. They don't like the way the wind blew from the north side to the left side to the east side to the Saturday the 3rd. The neighbor came in and farted in the driveway. Got to cancel the contract. Didn't like it.
Hey,
But once the seller accepts it, no, they got the power of no. As a buyer, what can you do to force the seller's hand?
Sheriff,
Sheriff?
are you talking before that? No, cure.
Oh, cure. Yeah. Right.
Or sheriff, I guess. Yeah.
You call the sheriff on him. Like, he's not going to sell his house. No. When there's a potential breach, meaning it hasn't happened yet, there is a remedy in Arizona's contract. I'm sure there's something somewhere in California is where we can submit a formal notice of potential breach. A remedy request.
Notice of buyer to perform.
Yeah, it's a notice to perform in California. In Arizona, we call it a cure notice. It's to cure the remedy, a cure meaning to remedy an action not provided. That could be a document not provided. It could be a service that wasn't done. It could even be the fact that they did not close on the date on the contract. So let's say the close of escrow was the 4th of May. And I'm really glad we had no Star Wars jokes yesterday. I'm very proud of you nerds for not being nerds. Kevin was holding it back. I know he was. But when you got the closing of escrow was yesterday, right? The 4th of May. We're the buyer side. The seller didn't sign their paperwork. What can we do?
After talking to them?
Oh yeah, let's go into it. Like what can we do? What's our first step?
We the seller's agent, we the buyer's agent.
We're the buyer's agent.
Communication?
Yeah, we have a conversation with them,
With whom?
Send an email with choice
With-
words.
with the seller side and the lenders and the escrow.
Yeah, you call everybody. What's going on? Why aren't we closed?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, if you're waiting until the day after the close of escrow, we have a problem.
You should have known already ahead of time.
You should have known ahead of time. We should have known at least yesterday that the seller hasn't signed yet. And where do we get that knowledge from?
From our lenders.
Escrow.
I'm talking, asking the vendors involved, right? Lender, title, other agent.
All your people.
Other people, man. Don't just wait for things to happen. We have to be proactive. Being proactive allows you to target going after information. But let's say, okay, we knew that they weren't going to sign on time. They were trying for it. They just didn't make it yesterday. What do we do today?
I mean, I guess again, like, what's the conversation? Do they have the intention of signing and something came up, or do they not intend to sign and you need to cure them?
Regardless, like the process to protect your client, what should you do today?
Get an addendum
To do what?
to extend the closing date to a different date.
That's one way of handling it, extending the close of escrow to, make it easier, coordinate better time frame. Okay.
And piss off title because they have to redo the settlements.
100%.
Yep.
They got all the paperwork printed already. They got to reprint it all. They are not happy with you. But you can do that. What else can you do? Addendum requires both sides, right? What's a unilateral thing you can do?
Sure.
Cure notice. All right. You have not performed in your contract. This is your notice to perform. A cure notice says you have 3 days after the acceptance of this, not the acceptance, from the delivery of this, to remedy the item that we're pointing out, which is you haven't closed escrow. You didn't do your job. Those 3 days, bloop, 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 gone. Now we're on the 8th. 3 days of the cure passed. Now we're on the 8th. What's our remedy as the buyer side?
So the sellers haven't signed, you're saying, and we're on the buyer side.
We're on the buyer side still, right? The buyers have signed everything, done everything. They're clear to close. They got their loan. The lender's standing by. The seller just has not signed.
I mean, at this point, aren't we looking at possible, like, arbitration for
Can you sue them?
specific performance?
Remember that specific performance. This is where we are now 3 days past a cure notice. We went from potential breach of contract to we are now in breach of contract. The sellers have officially breached contract. We have a signed notice of delivery, and that's the email that we sent them. Hey, you guys didn't close. You got 3 days to remedy that. We're outside that 3 days. The buyer can either cancel the contract and return the earnest money, and then go back and sue the seller for damages because the earnest money doesn't protect the buyer for damages. Like if the seller, they have inspections or appraisal or any other costs associated to the process of buying this house. They can also sue for specific performance to force the seller to sell the property. Like in this situation, like this morning, it's a land deal. It's $42,000 piece of land. The seller doesn't like the price.
11:15.
You liked the price when you accepted the offer, right? That was the moment you lost your power. So now at this point, the buyers have the obligation, not the right, it's an obligation to cure the seller and say, hey, you need to perform.
I am going to.
What's that, Mikey?
Oh, alternatively, you can send in some good fellas and get things taken care of.
Yeah, send the sheriff, Sheriff Max and his big
Or sheriff. I guess the sheriff would.
But that's the thing. It's like you've got to take your legal remedy. It's expensive, it's a headache, and some situations the judge may not favor the buyer and may not force the seller to sell because maybe it's a tough situation. But you want to be able to know what your remedies are, just so you don't get to the 11th hour and you're like, oh my God, what do we do? I want you to know what's going on 12 hours ago. There should be communication at least a week out from closing that you've got signing appointments set up, that you've got expectations leveled, that everything is fine. There is no reason to sit back and wait for it to happen.
That the appraisal is coming.
Yeah, we should know that the appraisal is coming. We should talk to the appraiser 56 times and send them 100 different pictures. I mean, just guessing. Not that it's happened in the deal that Mikey and I are closing right this minute. But no,
I was gonna say I feel very, very called out. Glad I'm not the only one.
It's not. I will say that when the economy gets a little bit more restrictive, like we've noticed lately, more of this BS comes up. More sellers, more buyers do unhinged things. Buyers get spooked, and then all of a sudden, it's like 3 days before closing, and they're like, "Nope, not going to do it. The property lines are unknown, and I'm just going to surrender my $1,000."
Dan, do you call the appraiser when you're on both sides, buyer side and seller side?
I do.
Gotcha.
I want to know when they're on the buyer side. I want to know when they're doing their appraisal so that I can be on top of it and that it's ordered. On the listing side, I want to know when they're doing their appraisal so that I can deliver to the appraiser the appraisal packet that we create.
Gotcha.
Just out of clarity, though, as a buyer agent, we're not supposed to talk to the appraiser directly. Is that correct? That's what I understood it as. Like, we can call the lender and find out where everything's scheduled, but supposedly only, as my understanding, only the seller agent can speak with the appraisers.
Technically, neither should.
I thought both sides shouldn't.
Yeah, technically, they're there to protect the investor, and there shouldn't be any influence by the agent. And most appraisers don't allow you to influence them, but it's always a good idea to have documents in play, like you're, stepping in with your appraisal book saying, hey, this is all the updates to the house. Here's all the maintenance items we've done. Here's all the things that we know that this house is pretty badass about. Give us a higher value. Versus like, good luck.
Right. Obviously for the seller side, I always send the appraisal packet to. Unfortunately for this one, he says, it didn't really matter as far as our comp, but this one was kind of a unique situation that Dan and I are playing with. And I've always just understood it as, I'm just putting it out there for caution. I've always understood it's more cautious for the buyer's side too.
Mikey, are you at an airport or a police station?
Either one.
Both.
Airport. Airport.
Full purpose government building. Because it looks like there's a guy behind you wearing a bulletproof vest or some kind of uniform. No, just really big shoulders. Got it. Hey, Katie. So that's why we talk about these things. Okay, I want you to know that we can't just, once something happens in the contract, be like, oh, we're going to sue you. There's a process involved. But it always starts with the communication. And sometimes that communication isn't friendly. It's not, hey, Kevin, so sorry that you guys didn't sign yesterday. How are things going? It's, Kevin, what's going on? You knew closing was yesterday. We've done everything on our side. I need the seller to do their job. And then Kevin's going to tell us one thing or another, and it's going to help us understand if the seller intends to sign and they just missed it, or if the seller's backpedaling because they're upset about something. And then you have to be confident enough in your process and your abilities to say, that sucks. The seller was okay with the sales price when they took the offer. They hired the septic company. They hired the work to be done. It's not my buyer's responsibility. If the seller doesn't want to pay it, fine. You pay it. We did our job. Now, is that a hard conversation to have?
They did sign a contract.
We're in this business to protect the clients that we're responsible to. That's why dual agency is tough. But if you have dual agents in the same brokerage, it's fine. Go to bat for each other, right? You are there to fight for your client. And sometimes fighting looks like friendship. Hey, let's find a way to make this work. I know that this is tough. I know it's not an easy situation. Let's find a way to make this work. I know your seller's not happy about the additional $4,200 in expenses. Why don't we cover a little bit of that? He cover a little bit of that, and the buyer cover a little bit of that. So each of us pays $1,000. We'll settle this deal right up. Sometimes it's, we told you about this months ago. Why is this still an issue? If the seller doesn't have the money to close escrow, that's why we asked for the proof of funds to be able to close.
Wait, what's that?
Christina's feeling real targeted right now.
I had one of those recently too.
But then we get creative, right? Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know you don't have the funds. I don't know they have the funds, whatever it is. Here's how we can handle that. We can change the comp structure. So instead of being paid at the close of escrow, you're making payments to the brokerage for your compensation. Instead of coming up with $12,000 now, you pay us $3,000 a month over the next 4 months. On the listing side, right, you have all the power in the world. You have a contract that says you're going to get paid X amount of dollars for selling the house. And if the seller doesn't pay you, guess what? Who do you call? Rick Mack, real estate attorney excellence. Rick, I got a case. But you got to be willing to step up and say, this is not okay. You need to fix it. Or, this is not okay. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm going to get it fixed. I have been on that side of it too. There are points in my career where I've had to come step in financially because of something I did wrong.
Okay.
Now, I really hope you guys don't have to do that because I want you to make as much money and keep as much money as possible. But when mistakes happen, they must get fixed.
The whole year, but yeah. No.
When you're in an inspection window, just like Holly is dealing with, she's done a great job of being patient, but I think her patience ran out yesterday. This agent's like, oh, I'll talk to him today, or I'll talk to him tomorrow, or I got a meeting with him at 3. That's what I told her last night. You need to have a hard line conversation with them. Send an email saying, if these are not remedied, my buyer is going to walk. Which is shitty because now the seller's like, fine, let them walk, because then the buyer's out their inspections or whatever they've spent on the deal so far, and it's time and aggravation in the process. And you know what? It's one of those things where Holly's going to follow up after this morning's call and call him and say, I hope you got my email, and I hope you know that the seller realizes that we're giving him a great sales price. And maybe the next buyer doesn't give him the same sales price and still asks for the same repairs.
Yeah, it's an investment company. They can't do anything with it like that.
Yeah,
it's gonna have to get addressed. I mean, they can't even rent it. So that's where my patience ran out, is because common sense is like completely missing.
I think that's the trend this week because I'm dealing with some ridiculous stuff like that too.
That's also what happened with that buyer that I had, Dan, when we went to close on the house and somebody jumped in there. After the fact, they told me, oh, well, I needed more time for more money anyways. And I was like, what?
And Dan, he respond late last night. He said, well, thanks for that, I guess. I'll show this to my seller.
So I would send a response back as I'm not trying to be a jerk. We're trying to make this a fair transaction. And I've asked you multiple times to have a conversation with your seller, and you keep delaying it. Guys, be friends with the co-agents. 100%. Make friends, make relationships with the people the other side of the transaction, because they will help you get it across the finish line when you're all working together. If you're not working together, it is an uphill battle. And then maybe you get threatened on the phone multiple times, and your broker's got to get involved.
And then maybe their son will forget that they threatened you and call you and try to make an offer on your property.
And here's the thing is, if you're a jackwagon agent, maybe it costs you another deal down the road. Like this situation. The company that screwed over Christina on the purchase that she had, that was messing with the whole transaction, came
Well,
back.
let's just say tried to screw over. We're not successful.
Yeah, tried to. They were very bold in trying. Came back and tried to be an agent when she was selling a house. And she's like, do you not remember who I am? I was like, you can submit your offer, but I'm going to tell the seller who you are. Oh, yeah, no. It's like that statement, my mom says I can't play with you. I told her what you did, and she says I can't play with you. Right? So don't be a jackwagon. Don't be a pushover. And also don't be an ostrich. Don't stick your head in the sand and hope it's going to get better. You're going to get in the fight. You're going to get into tough conversations, and you're getting into a position where you may not feel super friendly because you're like, I don't want to push that hard. But sometimes that's what it takes. Right? I don't care about your excuses. All I want's a result. I'm here to help us get this over the finish line. And if your seller's not willing to do that, tell us now so we can cut the madness. And shame on him for putting a house on the market that needed that much work. My buyers and I will go find another property. They'll put a good offer on, they'll close on it. And your seller will likely take a lesser offer and less net overall. Good luck to you, sir. Go out in the yard, put on your socks, and kick some rocks. We are going to come into more and more of this absurdity as things get wild in the market. This is super important. You have the conversation with your clients, whatever side of the transaction you're on, up front, and say, hey, just because the contract says this is the only liquidated damages you have does not mean they won't come back and sue you after all. Think about that, right? You want to sell your house? Great. Let's get it sold. But here's what it's going to take to sell it. Paint them a nightmare, deliver a daydream, not the opposite. Be willing to street fight to get your clients a win. And sometimes that's picking up the phone and saying, listen, stop the madness. Are you avoiding talking to your seller, or does he not give you the information and you're just trying to bait me to take too long to answer? And lastly, and most importantly, is follow the contract timelines. Some agents out there are squirrely enough that they will continue, fly home safe, Mike, they will continue to wait until after a timeline's expired to trap you into it. If you don't know your timelines, first thing you need to study. So let's not get ourselves in this position, shall we? Was today worth your time?
And don't take listing photos with your cell phone.
Very much so.
Please don't. Yeah, please no cell phone pictures, especially if you're going to have your finger in most of them.
Or door jams or mirrors.
Yeah,
Sorry.
people,
I stumbled on one. It was a $900,000 listing, and they've got cell phone pictures, and they're not even good.
oh, there's a guy in Tucson that sold it was a Mike and I were looking at it, was a $1.1 million house that had been on the market for like 200 and some days. All the electricity in the house must be off, or he just didn't turn the lights on because every picture is a flash from his cell phone, and you can see his shadow in the driveway picture because it's like he's holding the phone above his head to get like an aerial shot. Oh, it's quite funny.
He tried his best.
He tried
My
his
co- My coming soon listing that went under contract, all I have is a picture of the front of the house from my phone. We haven't even scheduled photos yet.
There you go. That's what's up.
It was a good picture though. No fingers.
So just in case you guys all know, if you got a situation, you're in a transact with a buyer or a seller, and you're getting some rough roads, reach out in the group chat. There's somebody that's been through that before. That way we can also show each other. So thank you for being a part of my morning. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sound good?
Peace